Palma. Oh,
Oh, man.
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game. Janelle Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Malonia is open. 3-point.
Oh, my goodness!
Isang jumper by Robin Celis.
Caballero has time.
Just posterized by Scott.
Action continues here in the Marlica Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Live na live tayo dito mula sa Paco Arena in the city of Manila. Ken Bono looking to lead the Mindoro Tamaraws to a better standing in the Southern Division. They will be facing Vic Manuel and the Pangasinan Heat Waves on the other side of the fence. Both of these teams on different divisions, but of course both of these teams still needing victories to put them in better places dun sa kanilang respective divisions. The muscle man Vic Manuel will be looking to lead the Pangasinan Heat Waves in our first game. Later on at 6 o'clock p.m. it's also going to be an important tussle between the Binyanta Takjil and the Zamboanga Family Sardine Sikat. And at 8 o'clock p.m. we have the Val City Magic going up against the Manila Batang Quiapo. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat mga kaliga. This is Javi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, both of these teams, actually, we're already all winding down the regular season, Coach. But what has been the biggest surprise from both teams para sa'yo?
Well, I'm a bit surprised on how actually Pangasinan started. No, medyo a little bit of a struggle start of the season, but now they're recovering really well. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Samantalang itong Mindoro naman, some wins, some losses are actually very surprising. You'd like to think that they'd be in a better standing right now, but the good thing is at least they're still in that playoff run.
Yeah, tama ka dyan. Itong Mindoro, one of the teams na maaga nag-build up for the season. Itong Pangasinan, ganun din because of what happened last year. But here we are right now. Mapapanood nyo ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino on our YouTube channel as well as on pusop.com. Live rin tayo sa Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. It's not just me and Coach Mike. We also have the third member of our broadcast panel. Let's bring in Miss Mika Besames. Mika, good afternoon. Kamusta ang parehong teams natin?
Good afternoon, Javi. Coach Mike. For the Mindoro Tamaraws, obviously very disappointed with that loss against Pasig. They allowed Warlo Batak that spectacular performance and they even allowed the rest of Pasig to have 27 points in that first quarter. Sabi nga ni Coach Benji Teodoro, parang naging papawis game lang yun para sa Mindoro Tamaraws. Pero hindi na pwede maulit yun if they want to have their first ever playoff stint dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. No? At syempre matitindi ang mga kalaban nila. Meron silang Pangasinan, meron silang Batangas, tapos Abra. Kaya kailangan na magbago nitong Mindoro Tamaraws. Para naman dito sa Pangasinan Heatwaves, obviously it's been going well for Coach Gerson. They won against Cebu and Manila. Pero matitindi pa ang mga susunod nilang kalaban. May Mindoro today, may Rizal, may Imus, tapos may Caloocan. So he can't help but reminisce about the 21 straight wins in the elimination round in Season 4 at sana daw yan ang mangyari sa kanila for the rest of the regular season. Dahil kung hindi, nako, practice daw kahit after game day. Happy Coach Mike.
Nako po, alam naman natin, ito si Coach Gerson, may reputasyon ito na magpa-hard practice talaga.
Oh, yeah.
Talagang matindi magpa-ensayo itong coach ng Pangasinan Heatwaves. But before we go on to dive into more of our pre-game discussion, let's look at what happened yesterday sa ating game day. Yesterday at the Batangas City Coliseum, it was a blowout by Nueva Ecija on Quezon City. Imagine that, 38 points lang na-score ng Quezon City coach. M. Davao winning a big one over Cebu to push up their hopes of making the play-in tournament over the Cebu Greats. And in our main game, Batangas dominating Bulacan. All of these games affecting the team standings. Let's look at first the team standings sa ating Southern Division.
Yes, the Southern Division. But there's only one thing that's certain in the South. Is that Quezon is definitely number 1. But everything else is pretty much hindi pa settled. Lalo na pag tinignan mo yung 9 to 10 spot natin. Muntinlupa, Davao, Cebu, Sarangani, and Imus is still at it, going for the final slot para dito sa South Division. So, nothing really set yet para sa South. It's only just Quezon being the number 1 team, definitely.
Contrastingly, in the Northern Division, set na yung ating 10 teams na papasok sa playoffs tsaka sa play-ins. At the top 6 are determined. Ito naman sa Pangasinan, JP Magoliano, he has been playing very well as of late for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. He's in one of the best shapes of his career, perhaps the best shape so far he's had in all of the basketball that he's played his entire life, and it's showed in the numbers, Coach Mike.
Well, he really stood out in that win for the Heatwaves as he's finished with one of his best games of the season. 19 points, 12 of them in the third quarter, played 19 minutes, shot 61% from the field, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. You know, the 3 assists to me is very impressive considering that, you know, he pretty much is more of a scoring guy and a rebounding guy. For him to be dishing more assists over his averages, that really is impressive from JP Magoliano.
And he injects a lot of youth into an aging front court para dito sa Pangasinan. Kaya naman talagang integral part siya nitong rotation ni Coach Gerson, especially as we wind down into the most important part of the regular season. And JP Magoliano hoping to have another good game here today against a Mindoro team who's also seeking a victory to up their chances of having a better spot in the Southern Division. And at the forefront of that attack is veteran Bam Bam Gamalinda.
Yeah, Bam Bam Gamalina is pretty, you know, did a good game as well. Led the team on the offensive end, 19 points on a 56% field goal shooting. Played for about 32 minutes. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. The only thing about his game in that match really was the 1 out of 6 3-point shooting. That really pretty much he struggled. But you do understand if he had made half of those shots, it would have been more numbers in scoring para dito kay Bam Gamalina.
He was one of 2 guys in double figures for the Tamaraos in that loss. They're gonna need a lot of help all around against also hungry Pangasinan team who's on a 3-game winning streak. So who will it be for our first game? Mindoro nga ba or Pangasinan? Let's go to Richard Campos.
At guard number 6, Ian Melencio. Also at guard number 8, El Trilla Lawrence Victoria. Forward number 9, Harvey Pagsanhan. Playing center number 23, Jay Collado. Power forward number 27, Mr. Officer Jory Napoles. Their head coach is Gerson Cabiltes, assisted by Noy Catalan, June Marzan, Florian Pineda, Ariel Sison, Harold Nang, Joseph Guion, Dan Xavier, and June Medina. Here's for the Mindoro Tamaraos. Small forward number 3, Ino Comboy. Power forward number 6, Riego Bam Bam Gamalinda. At guard number 7, Jason Perez. To guard number 21, Hans Maikong. At center number 25, playing assistant coach Ken Bono. Their head coach is Benji Tudoro, assisted by Kim Cinco, with the playing assistant coaches Axel Inigo and Joseph Sidorifa, with Carl Nusa and JC Libunao. Team manager Sandra Norte.
As we our starters for this game, Pangasinan begins things with Ian Melencio and Lawrence Victoria in the backcourt. Jay Collado, who has been playing championship basketball the past few games, will be the center, along with Harvey Pagsanhan and Jory Napoles in the front court. Sa kabilang panig naman, Mindoro will go with Jason Perez and Hans Maikong at both guard spots. Ken Bono will man the middle. Gamalinda and Comboy complete the starters for the Mindoro Tamaraos. A very youthful starting unit for Coach Gerson Cabiltes, along with veterans Ian Melencio and Jay Collado, while Mindoro changing things up a bit in their starting 5. We have Jason Perez and Hans Maikong at the backcourt along with Ino Comboy. So medyo maliit yung kanilang mga gwardiya ngayon, no, Coach, compared to the past games. Talking about the Tamaraos, Comboy goes for the first shot. That's going to be a miss. There's a foul on the rebounds play, and it's going to go against Pangasinan.
And I feel this change actually in the rotation of Mindoro might be on 2 things. So one, really to try and match up against the speed of the Pangasinan Heatwaves out in the open floor. And then, you know, to try and get the other starters a little bit of rest and be more fresh mid of the game para sa kanila.
Importante rin na magkaroon sila ng mas maayos na simula dito. They can't allow themselves to have a slow start and right on cue. That's a good way to start the ball game if you're Mindoro, especially with what happened against Pasig City, kung saan naunahan sila ng tropang Pasig, and that really set the tone for pretty much the entire game. They were trailing for almost the entire match.
Yeah, pretty much. And I do agree with you. They really got to set the tone. Speaking of Mindoro, dito sa labanan na to. Because yung talo nila sa Pasig, that I feel was, if you look at the numbers, halos lahat was really good for them except for the field goals. What really mattered there was the free throws. And, you got to make your free throws if you're Mindoro.
Well, they missed 6 free throws, but also they gave up 26 attempts, coach.
That's right. And if not for the mas marami silang 3-point mix, and if not for that, they would have been down big. Imagine had they made those 6 free throws. And they pretty much for the season have been more or less a 65% free throw shooting team. And so you got to be better than that, especially as you head into the playoffs where every free throw really matters.
Oh, what a block there. Lawrence Victoria getting the rejection on Ino Comboy. What a recovery coming from the former Pasay Voyager.
Well, as a Pasay Voyagers, we always talked about Lawrence Victoria being an offensive player. But here, man, under Coach Gerson Caviltes, I mean, that defensive front has really shored up para dito kay Lawrence Victoria. Understanding he got beat, but good recovery right there to challenge that layup shot.
And no matter how much of a talented player you are offensively on this team, whatever team that Coach Gerson Caviltes coaches, you are not allowed to not play defense.
Oh, naman.
You will be forced to play defense even if you haven't been playing defense all your career.
Oh, definitely.
It doesn't matter who you are or who you have been in your basketball career. Kahit nga si Vic Manuel, napipilitan talagang mas dumepensa pa even at this stage.
Yeah, that pretty much, I feel, it has been one of the profiles of Coach Gerson Caviltes' team. You've got really good offensive schemes and even pretty good on the defensive end. So, don't want to be coming off short on either end of the floor.
Gamalinda has come up big here at the start of this game, although he misses that shot. Pangasinan is 0 out of 3. That's a block by the Tamaraos. That Mindoro now off and running. Comboy, high looper of a shot. That falls down. That's a 3 para kay Ino Comboy. Tamaraos off to a 7-0 start here.
If you look at the shot chart of Ino Comboy, that left wing 3 is one of his favorite shots to make attempts from there. And so in crucial parts of the game, even in the open floor, you got to make sure that you're on him on that side of the three-point area.
I love that observation, Coach. And, for a lot of teams, maybe that is not always a detail that they notice. This is a three-point shot of the game brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. But really, if you are trying to dissect each and every part of each player's game on the opposing side, importante rin malaman mo kung saan talaga siya usually pumupukol.
Agree. And it really matters how you understand their tendencies, where they're more comfortable, where they're not. And on the defensive end, you definitely want to send them over to an area where they're not pretty convenient exploring options.
More than 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Wala pa rin puntos ang Pangasinan. Victoria misses Maikong. This is familiar territory for him. He's played a lot of games in this venue, playing for the Olivares College Sea Lions. And he misses on that layup. Although, fortunately for Mindoro, they will keep possession with 14 under 24.
Yeah, but tell you what, Maikong and Perez have actually given a good lift on the guard spot para dito sa Mindoro.
You were talking about the energy, Coach, of how that could change because nung nagpalit nga ng starters, itong si Coach Benji para sa laro na to. And it's been showing so far. Comboy with the basketball. Gives it up to Perez. Fakes. Victoria doesn't budge. Comboy has enough time to set, and you can't do that to Ino Comboy.
Drive, kick, swing. That's definitely been what happened right there. Perez drove down the baseline, didn't have anyone, tried to kick it out over to Ken Bono, generated that closeout, and then understood there's got to be a swing on the other end. And I've got my best three-point shooter in the team in Wendell Comboy. And Ino says, don't worry, I got this. Takes the bottom of the net.
They're not forcing anything right now, and pretty much everything has been falling for them here in the opening minutes. Mindoro out to a 10-0 start. Tamaraos lost a tough one to Pasig City in their last game. Ito niya ang pinapag-usapan natin kanina. They started out slow in this game, coach, which practically doomed them for the entire match.
Pretty much. And then you look at the shooting. The shooting was pretty okay at 42%. Matter of fact, they had 16 more field goal attempts. And they had 4 more three-point makes. It really was what we were talking about, 6 missed free throws, which I feel, drove that win over to Pasig. But you also can't discount the fact that Pasig has been playing a lot of motivated basketball these past 2 games. So enough for them to get a better standing here heading in the latter part of the eliminations.
Well, not being able to score in the first 3 minutes almost of this game was enough motivation for Alin Bolanali to get aggressive and score right away upon entry into this ball game. Pumasok na rin si Sid Gabo, Harvey Pagsanhan, and Michael Mabulak for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. But look who is on the floor for the Mindoro Tamaraos. For the first time since that incident, we have Jonas Tibayan back on the floor for Mindoro.
Well, it is good to see Jonas back in the game as he this time tried to attack against the defense of Jay Collado.
And he's wearing that protective mask, had that broken jaw after that incident.
Yes.
With Nicole Sorella a few months ago. Here he is trying to make his first move since coming back. Collado staying with him and drawing the charge there.
Yeah, I felt that elbow was right through the chest of Jay Collado. Might be a case of si Jonas then trying to adjust kasi it's not that comfortable to be playing with a mask on, especially in the early few minutes of your game back.
Mahirap talaga yan. And yung mask niya, siyempre, kakaiba yan than the usual ones that we see. Dahil ang mask usually sinusuot na yan ng mga players that broke their nose. Ito si Jonas, he broke his jaw. And he's using that to really protect practically his whole face.
Correct.
And ang hirap makita sa mga peripherals mo with that kind of mask. It really takes a lot of getting used to. Our referees are trying to review that last sequence for a possible unsportsmanlike foul. Dahil medyo nakalawit yung siko doon ni Jonas Tibayan.
Yeah, and it was extended and it was high and hit right through the chest of Jay Collado. And I'd like to think that Jonas is really just trying to reestablish himself as one of the primary post-up guys or the big men of itong Mindoro. I mean, I'm sure there was no ill intent on the side of Jonas as he went for that shot. Also didn't help that I felt that Diego Bangkalit crowded that as he tried to cut middle rin, medyo nasikipan rin in that instance, in my opinion, si Jonas Tibayan.
Although it leaves a little bad taste on his return here to the floor, mukhang wala naman siyang intention na manakit doon. Jay Collado at the line for 2 shots. Ball possession also will go to Pangasinan. Tibayan returns as one of the vital cogs of the front court rotation nitong Mindoro Tamaraos. He averaged 17.1 minutes per game. Let's go courtside to Miss Mika Bisanos.
Talking about the 21 straight wins of Coach Gerson, of course, with a different team then, but the core of this Pangasinan team still with Wico, Mabulak, Gabo, and yung nag-free throw kanina, a guy who was actually one of the heroes of that win against Cebu, Jay Collado. Nung araw daw kasi ng game against Cebu, ginulat daw ni Coach Gerson ang mga players sa court during game day shoot around. Usually, hindi naman daw siya nagpupunta. Pagdating niya, walang tao. Obviously, was not happy. Told Jay Collado to tell the rest of the team na pag natalo tayo dito sa game na to, takbong college sila next practice. So, nung naalala daw ni Jay yun sa game na yun, dumami ang mata niya sa 50-50 ball. Sabi mo nga, Javi, tayo nag-cover nun. Ang ganda ng ginawa niya nun. But seriously, this speaks of that solid relationship between these guys and their coach with several championships together in different leagues. I'm just excited for them to bring that heat in the playoffs. Javi, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Beautifully said there. And that is why you also understand that despite the aging core that he has, he still sticks with these guys because these guys have delivered time and time again.
Yeah. Mga trusted comrades na niya pagdating sa labanan dito sa MPBL, and definitely Coach Gerson do understand bringing in his troops and trying to make a run this season. And I like that Mika mentioned about the heat, bringing the heat in the playoffs. And because that definitely is what you're gonna get against the teams of Coach Gerson Cabildes.
And if most pundits will say that hindi na sila nagiging effective, they're not really playing like they used to, as we see Comboy get away to the basket. You see Jay Collado, look at him right now. He's in one of the best shapes of his career, and he's playing really quality basketball off the bench for Pangasinan this year.
And more importantly, him, giving that response to the call of Coach Gerson Cabildes, and him being in better shape. See this little shovel pass on a grenade pass, and that good baseline drive by Ino Combo. And Ino so far has beat every defender that's brought in front of him by the Heat Waves.
Well-deserved rest para sa kanya. Bulanani with the basketball, puts the ball on the deck, leaves that right-handed layup short. Mabulak on the reverse. That's good para kay Michael Mabulak.
Well, it's hard to believe that if you're the Heat Waves, that's only your second field goal out of 10 attempts. You normally would see so much better field goal shooting para dito sa Heat Waves. They roughly average about, 44% from the field, and they are definitely very good when it comes to the perimeter. And so one might say this might be a slower start for the Heat Waves in this game.
Olga Malinda continues to go to work, trying to add on to his total. Mabulak could not believe the whistle. That's going to be 2 more free throws para dito kay Bamga Malinda, who is the only starter left on the floor here for Coach Benji Todoro. Bangkale, Ramirez, Galang, and Tibayan, all bench players para kay Coach Benji. We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Now, when you mentioned earlier about this run by the Heat Waves, Javi, one might also say that MJ Wico not being available could be one factor. He brings a lot of edginess, he brings a lot of control. Another good defender for Coach Gerson Cabildes, not to mention leadership. That might be one piece that could have resulted into this performance here in the eliminations for the Heat Waves.
I certainly agree. That's a good observation because Wico did bring a lot of the intensity, especially at times kung saan kinukulang yung mga teams ni Coach Gerson, whether it was with Nueva Ecija or Pangasinan. Wico was just that type of player.
Definitely. Talagang yun ang maaasahan mo kay Wico.
Manuel from downtown. Yes, sir. Vic Manuel has been diligently working on that three-point shot.
Overall, itong Pangasinan, they're really not that well when it comes to three-point shooting. There are certain games they're a little bit streaky, pero really for the most part, they shoot only about 28% from the field. But they do have very able three-point shooters in that team, including Vic Manuel.
Galang passes up on the three. Took one step more, was undecided on what he was going to do there. The defense of Pangasinan forcing a stop here against Mindoro.
See that drive, little slot to slot. Vic Manuel not hesitating, understood he had Jonas Tibayan on him. Jonas given that space, all that he needed to make that three for Vic Manuel.
7 minutes gone by here in the opening frame. Bulanadi against Ethan Galang. Mabulak wants it against Bienes, gets it near the block. Sends it to Manuel, who lights it up. Nope, could not right a fuse there from the left side, and Ramirez is all alone on the other side.
Well, the mystery and the pitch ahead over to RJ Ramirez. Vic Manuel, trying to steal the ball away. And he paid dearly for it, allowing that entire baseline to just be clean for RJ Ramirez to go and finish.
Vic Manuel winning the rebounding battle against Kyle Perez there. Mindoro already in the penalty. They're up by 7 here. Yun ang hinahabol ng Pangasinan. A muscle man missing on the first free throw. 2 minutes and 28 remaining in quarter number 1. There you see Coach Gerson Cabildes, Season 4 MPBL champion with the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Well, even what's more concerning on the start of the Heat Waves is they don't have a player who scored consecutive field goals yet. And so you got to have that hot hand in the floors. You see a good backdoor cut right there.
Bangkale connecting there with Brandre Bienes to extend Mindoro's lead to 9, 17-8.
I've always loved, guys connecting off the back door. And Mindoro once again out in the open floor. Oh. I thought that was not a good read, in my opinion. Diego Bangale. He had no one right in front of him. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Probably trying to bring in a little energy.
I understand that. Yes, I really do. But this is not the All-Star game.
I agree. And you're coming off a loss.
Yes.
And so, you want to be more intentional and be more efficient and effective in how you execute stuff on both ends.
Yeah, in my opinion, there is a time and place for stuff like that. But thankfully, they draw an unsportsmanlike foul. So medyo napaganda pa nga dito para sa Mindoro.
Yes.
Because this could possibly be a 4 or 5 point swing.
Yeah, and tried to field it over. And Hesed Gobo might be, and that only is to my observation, did not like that they really had to go to that alley-oop with him being the last defender coming in. Maybe trying to send a little message to Mindoro as they right now trail by 10. And kanina, nung nangyari yun, hindi rin happy si Coach Gerson. He shouted at his boys on the floor, baba. That pretty much is what they're saying. You committed a mistake. You got to go back to defend the other end.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the first. And there's an issue with our game clock here inside the venue. An opportunity for both coaches to huddle up. Vic Manuel and the rest of Pangasinan trailing here by 10. Manuel has 3 points to his name so far. In his first season in the MPBL, the muscle man. We'll take a short break. Magbabalik ang MPBL. Back here inside the Paco Arena in Manila City. Glad to have you with us. This is Javi Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Miss Mika Abesames is at courtside. Under 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 1 between Mindoro and Pangasinan. Bangkale, baseline drive. Lucky break there for Pangasinan. They get the rebound. The boys pushing. Leaves it for Gortiza. Little sidestep. Doesn't get the bounce. Gets his own miss. Recycle here for the Heat Waves.
Oh, I love Gortiza, how he plays with a lot of energy. Oh, no.
Vic Manuel, maybe years ago that would have been a slam, but that's 2 points nonetheless for Vic Manuel.
You know what? Heading into that timeout, you saw Vic Manuel and Mike Mabulak discussing with each other. Kind of like the way I saw it, see another 3 here made by Mindoro. It was really Vic Manuel telling Mike Mabulak, we're down 10, but don't worry about it. We still got a lot of time. And that, I feel, is really just the veteran smarts of Vic Manuel, reminding his guys now we're still okay.
Michael Mabulak, though, missing on a banker. Bangkale is pushing, looks right. Galang stops, gives it back to Jeko. Bangkale, another 3 on the way. Back-to-back hits para kay Jeko Bangkale. Now he effectively rectifies that quote-unquote mistake that he made earlier.
The number 1 3-point shooting team this season by far through all the games that's been played is Mindoro. They normally would get 11 3-point makes a game, and they are shooting right now at a very high clip of 60%, which in my opinion bodes well para dito sa Tamaros. Another 3 on its way.
That's a miss, but you just saw earlier the number 1 scorer of Pangasinan score in transition. This time it's Mabulak with the basketball. Still couldn't get it at point-blank range. Perez secures it for the Tamaraos. Pangasinan heavily pressuring here. Gabon with a push. That's a late whistle. Bangkale was left dislodged from his position. Coach Gerson could not believe the call.
Yeah, see right there, that pass, a little push on one end, that would be on Hesed Gabo. We got to clarify this.
Coach Gerson is fuming mad, and There's a timeout on the floor here, I believe, for the Mindoro Tamaraws. There he is still trying to explain his case. 13.4 seconds. Magbabalik kami. Babalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. This was the last sequence. Ito yung tawag kay Hesed Gabo, which was called late by referee Maynard Centeno.
Actually, there was a good maybe 1.5 second that there was no call. We just heard a whistle. And we did see right in front of us Jacob Bancale falling out of bounds. And now I think I do understand how the frustration of Coach Jerson Cabiltes, because he thought there was no call quickly done there, and he surely did not feel that call was met with a lot of conviction.
I feel like naintindihan naman niya na foul talaga yung nangyari, pero sana tinawag agad eh. That's why he didn't challenge. He could have challenged that call.
That's right. And understanding the importance of this game for their team. I mean, this is the final 13 seconds of the first quarter, and you get a foul on Hesed Gabo, who right now already has I think he's got a couple of fouls already for Hesed. No, he's got 3, and so you got to react that way if you're Coach Jerson Cabiltes, which to me is pretty understandable.
Well, that was 3 free throws by Jacob Bancale, 1 for the technical, 2 for the foul dahil nasa penalty ng Pangasinan. Gabo lets the ball roll over. He picks it up. Gives it up. Manuel from downtown. That's off to the left side. Mabulak, offensive rebound. Couple of fakes. Wala pa rin. The tap goes to Ashawn Andrews. At maubusan na siya ng oras doon. And that does it for the first 10 minutes of play here between Pangasinan and Mindoro. The Tamaraws making up for that slow start against Pasig City to have a very impressive one here against the Heat Waves in quarter number 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Ino Comboy going quickly at it, scoring all his 8 points in the early minutes of the game. A couple of threes, and then the other guys started getting in. Bancale had a couple of threes. And if you allow Mindoro to get to those 3-pointers, you got to work real hard defending against them.
Bancale already well above his average of 6.4 points per game. The Tamaraws are ahead by 14 heading into the second quarter. Last game against Pasig, he had Ramirez, Comboy, and Bancale shooting 14 and 13 respectively. But apparently this just was not enough to go up and turn the tide against a very determined Tropang Pasig, who were playing underman. They have been playing underman for quite some time.
Yeah, underman, but never really short of motivation, especially when you speak of guys like Jacob Galicia, Rocky Asidre, Warlo Batak, and the guys of Pasig really taking it to them in that match. But I feel of those trio, sure, you got more than 10 points of production from each of those 3, pero to me, it was the struggle really of Ino Comboy making shots from 3 from the field. He shot only 4 of 16 for a 25% field goal shooting. He was 4 of 11 from 3 though, and pretty much a number that you'd like to hope would be so much better for Ino, which thankfully for the Tamaraws is really good right now to start for Combo.
Well, it's very different in this game. Ashawn Andrews eyeing the sky play from Ino Comboy.
Now that guy is going to play a huge role heading into the playoffs. Brings in a lot of athleticism. He's going to be challenged defensively though, most probably to try and check against the better wing scorers for their opposing team. And what's important is that he gets all these burn time on the floor, getting himself into a good rhythm, to be ready for the playoffs.
This is our fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke. Comboy connecting there with Sean Andrews.
Ganda ng pagkaka-allocate rin doon ni Ino Comboy, but it really is a lot to do with the activity of Andrews. Going to the open spots and trusting that his teammates would find him.
Andrews may not be putting in significant numbers in terms of the points, but I do understand, Coach, the energy because of the athleticism that he brings. He could be an X factor for Mindoro down the line.
Agree. At saka mahalaga yan, lalo na heading into the latter part of the eliminations and very early into the playoffs that he would be establishing himself as one of the key rotation pieces. He's been in and out of the rotation actually for Mindoro.
Yes.
Hindi makakuha ng magandang rhythm, and so the hope is, try good, use him good enough to have a steady performance heading into the playoffs.
He's actually had his moments this season. Some good games under his belt. We just saw the turnover story. Mindoro already with 4, while Pangasinan with 2. Vic Manuel going down to work. That's 2 points more for the muscle man. He has 9 in this game. Actually, Inigo, dito lang sa second quarter, pinasok ni Coach Benji Teodoro.
Ayun ang kagandahan doon sa magandang simula ni Bangkale at saka ni Perez that time. Oh, wow, what passing by the Tamaraws.
And they have connected a lot with each other in this game. That's now 8 times for the Tamaraws sa laro na to. Imagine Axel Inigo, your third point guard coming off the bench.
Oh, yes. And that really shows you how deep that guard rotation is. This guy's got to make his shots now. Lawrence Victoria. It's only Vic Manuel who's had multiple field goal makes for the Heat Waves.
Axel Inigo, back pass, Comboy, downtown shot is good. He is lighting it up here at the Paco Arena.
Shooting 75% from 3, going 3 out of 4. And he has not been checked that good from beyond.
Ralph Robin, a very capable shooter himself, gives it up to Manuel, leans in for the shot, took one extra step, he'll be called for a ball.
Nice goal makes.
This is our 3-point shot of the game brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Ino Comboy, boy, what a start para sa kanya, especially from the outside. From what happened from last game against Pasig, this is definitely a huge improvement para sa kanya and a way for him to get back the confidence that he lost.
Indeed, this is a far cry from his 4 of 11 shooting. Oh, wow.
Oh, Ken Bono adding to the damage here by Mindoro on Pangasinan, to the delight of Ethan Galang and the rest of the Tamaraws. Their fans here inside the Paco Arena are also loving it.
Because they've been wanting to see that from Ken Bono. Ken trying to challenge that defense by JP. JP pretty much had his hand up. But again, Ken Bono really digging inside for the post-up.
Let's now go courtside to Miss Mika Abesamis. Go
Just
ahead,
to
Mix.
continue the narrative of Mindoro, obviously not happy when they lost to Pasig, as we have been mentioning. Isa sa pagsisisi doon was the lack of defense. Sa first quarter pa lang allowed Pasig 27 points. Parang Sunday club nga daw papawis. But look at them today, a more aggressive start. They have to keep in mind the long-time dream of Mayora Ina Alegre Cruz to finally enter the playoffs with someone as supportive as her as a boss. Tama lang naman na mag-give back na finally ang Tamaraws. Coach Benji Teodoro continues to build character as they go along. Perfect time to do it against this team, Pangasinan, then Batangas, then Abra. But hey, imagine if they get past this terror month. Definitely rooting for Mindoro, especially with this performance of Capino and Ken Bono. Javi, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. We have a challenge here on the floor, but, well, Mika already said it. Sunday club no?
Oo.
Yun nangyari against Pasig. Yun yung nilalaruan ko, Coach Kung ganun lang naman din yung lalaruan nilang ng Mindoro, di sana nag-player na lang pala ako sa kanila. Coach Benji will be challenging that last call. 7:31 remaining in the first half.
The Mindoro Tamaraws challenge was successful.
Successful challenge for Coach Benji Tidoro and Mindoro. Tingnan natin yung nangyari dito. Maguliano tries to go inside. There's the swipe by Comboy. That goes off the knee of JP Maguliano. The initial call was Pangasinan basketball. But after the review, clearly, it was off the knee of JP Maguliano.
Tsaka they had that conviction to challenge that call kasi nangyari yun sa harapan nila. And I do like, you know, how that Papawis thing was mentioned by Mindoro. Really just sending a strong message to their players.
And they are sending a strong message this afternoon to Pangasinan. This is now a 25-point lead for the Tamaraws. Bam Gamalinda delivering another 3-point shot para sa kanila.
Bam Gamalinda in the previous game shot 1 out of 6 from 3. But this time around, that 3's been wet for Mindoro. And these guys are connecting. Ino and Bam, even Diego Bancale, no worries.
6 out of 9 from downtown for the Tamaraws. It's 39-14 in favor sa kanila. Magbabalik ang MPBL. Comboing 11 points already tonight, coach, built on 3 out of 4 shooting from downtown plus 3 rebounds. He started this game and he has it slowed down 1 bit.
Yeah, and totoo naman yan. He just keeps relocating, finding the open space. And I love that he's doing that off ball. He's not, you know, got the ball. I'm in the 3-point area, have the ball in my hand, trying to create. No, he's really just relocating, finding open spaces where his teammates could find him, and so it'd be easier for him to take the shots.
And I love the game face he's showing here on the defensive end. Robin, can he finally get a basket? Pangasinan actually has been in a drought for quite some time already.
Well, it's twofold actually for the Heat Waves right now. The challenge is defending against this onslaught on the offensive end for the Tamaraws. And then again, you know, trying to find a consistent scorer on their end. Right now, it's still only Vic Manuel who's had multiple field goal makes. He's 4 out of 7.
Let's see what happened here. A little baseline exchange between Bono and Comboy. Comboy might have been hit by Maguliano there.
Waves head coach Jerson Gabiltes for using profane language.
Oh,
Coach Jerson
Jerson
Gabiltes has committed 2
called
technical fouls.
for another
Coach Jerson
technical.
Gabiltes is out
That's
of the
his
playing
second
court.
technical. He's going to be tossed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the first one was on that third foul by
Hesed Gabo.
Hesed Gabo earlier on that late call with Jacob Bancale going out.
Oh, this is a big development.
And really just speaks to the importance of this game for the Heat Waves.
Yeah, he's fuming mad. He's going to have to watch the rest of this game from the dugout.
He definitely didn't like how that play went. I do feel that he saw that, to your point, Comboy got hit on the head, and there should have been an unspo right there on that hit on the head, kind of like a little review to see if it did merit an unsportsmanlike.
Our referees having none of the antics of Coach Jerson in this game. They're calling it tight on him. Actually, Nigo is at the line for the technical free throw. Usually a decent free throw shooter, but he misses on that one.
This is very important of a game for Pangasinan. And the hope right now is that this ejection of Coach Jerson Gabiltes would really wake up the Heat Waves right now.
So much so how Coach Yengao used to do it for his teams in the past, especially with Red Bull in the PBA. Jory Napoles, the guy who really impacted the win against the Cebu Greats, getting his first basket of the game.
I've been a strong believer of Jory Napoles impacting, game results for the Heat Waves. And I'd like to see more of him, bring a lot of energy, but man, what can you do? You're trying to help drop coverage, but you leave Bam Gamalinda at the other end for another made three.
The country is under the rainy season right now. It's raining outside. I think
at this moment, but it's also raining here inside. The threes have been pouring for the Tamaraws in this game, and we're just in the first half.
And I love how you put that, Javi. Definitely that's been the story so far. That's 7 of 10 from 3. Para dito sa Mindoro. These guys are shooting at 70% right now.
It's crazy. Three-point shooting has been impeccable, to say the least, for the guys in blue. Inigo gives it up to Gamalinda. He's been hot in this game together with that guy. It's been sizzling in the summer heat, but we're in the rainy season. Bono from the outside trying to join in on the three-point party.
Even that shot looked good.
16-4 ang ating tala dito sa ating second quarter. Galang completes the steal. No. Apparently, there's a call against Mindoro. He just tries to smile it off, talking about Ethan Galang. Pangasinan getting a break there.
And this zone has slowed down the offensive, attacks of itong heat waves. Coaches would always tell you, if we feel that you're really good on the offensive end, man-to-man, we're gonna have to beat you on your second best offense, which is zone. We're gonna try your zone sets.
And here they go, 5 for 5, man-to-man. Inigo switches on to Jory Napoles. Melencio had Magat on him. Bongalanza spins away from Marion Magat, and he's able to get the 2 points there off the pirouette.
That is another guy that's really got to be very consistent, especially on scoring for the heat waves.
Ramirez could not get the pull-up jumper to drop. And it's a forward to Victoria. And Lawrence Paul Victoria drawing a foul there against Mindoro. He'll trip to the line for 2 shots. He's got to get going in this game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he got Marion Magat spin down the middle, tried to be creative on that spin, finishing off with the right hand, and he definitely's got to attack strong to the cup.
It's about time Pangasinan tries to expose the lack of interior defense, which has been hounding Mindoro all season long. That's exactly why they brought in Marion Magat into this team. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. But once you get past Magat, there's nobody there to really block the shots.
Right. And the rim protection, once you get past Magat, is going to be a little bit challenged for Mindoro. Heat waves right now, it's using a lot of pace.
They need to. They're down huge right now. Galanza couldn't get the runner to fall. Bangkale gives it up to Gamalinda. We're going to set things up here. Absolutely no need to rush for the Tamaraws. Under 5 minutes to play. Victoria trying to play the passing lanes.
I like this effort by Lawrence Victoria right now. I find it hard to believe that right now Lawrence Victoria is only averaging 7 points per game. That clearly is below his usual numbers from the Voyagers, and you'd like for him to be more effective in terms of scoring for the Heat Waves.
Oh, that almost fell down once again para kay Bamgam Gamalinda. Melencio pushing, kicking.
Gotta make this.
Victoria shooting. That's no good. Napoles almost won it against Magat. Bangkale has it now. Jeco gets past Ian. No looks hit to RJ. Ramirez kicks it out. Galang. Trifecta is good.
You know what? All these threes taken by Mindoro have been by design. This is really based on their offensive rotations. None of these guys are taking threes that's forced, na wala na silang ibang option. This is really within the flow of the offense.
Mindoro shooting 7 out of 11 from the field in this quarter alone. They're 8 out of 15 total from the outside in this game.
And twice already we've seen that action. Attack, skip, swing, which is what happened. And so Diego Bangkale gave that ball over to that backdoor cut, then that swing out over to the waiting hands of Ethan Galang. And he pretty much too is comfortable taking that shot that side of the floor.
45-20 ang ating score dito. The Tamaraws continue to be a show of force
in this game against the Heat Waves. Sheila Inigo, the better half of Axel Inigo of the Mindoro Tamaraos in attendance here at the Paco Arena. That's our Gixer fans of the game, born for greatness. That's Miss Margo Nonato, a better half of Ethan Galang naman. Pati na rin ang Mindoro. And their team is up big time here against one of the top teams in the Northern Division, the Pangasinan Heat Waves. Bangkale tries to go backdoor to Bienes. That's off underneath the backboard.
That backdoor pass had no chance for Bienes to even recover. One, the angle I felt was not so good. Two, the force by which that bounce came up, mahirap na ma-pick up yun ni Bienes.
Melencio goes cross-court to Japs Bautista. Doesn't settle for the outside shot. Sidestep beauty in the deuce para kay Japs Bautista.
You played that long corner. You allowed your shooter in Japs Bautista to be the one to create. Found that closeout. Gotta attack that.
Ethan Galang gets past Vic Manuel. That's a push. Laban sa Pangasinan. Now that's only going to be their third team foul here. We still have 3 minutes to play in this second quarter.
See that everybody was pretty much logged onto that left side of the floor. And that short corner run by Jonas Tibaya, not enough to try and stop that drive by Japs.
Unang basket pa lang sa laro na to para kay Japs Bautista, a veteran of many MPBL teams. Manuel will take a seat. Mabulak comes back inside for Pangasinan. Ramirez could not finish at the basket. Napoles loses it. Bautista gives it up to their point guard, Ian Melencio.
Switch.
Bounce pass to Jore. Napoles swings it to Japs. Bautista to the left side. Melencio had to adjust. That shot is no good. Offensive rebound to Pagsanhan. Wala pa rin. Attack goes to Chester Ian Melencio. And Napoles losing it. Mindoro just really playing lockdown defense on this possession.
And that possession that we just saw is a good view of why Pangasinan right now is shooting just 26%.
And they actually have more attempts in this game, Coach, compared to Mindoro. And finally, they get a rare conversion in the half court, courtesy of Johnny Napoles. An alley-oop from the baseline galing kay Harvey Pagsanhan.
And that time really just keeping everything very simple. Little cross screen intended for that cut the other way by Japs Bautista and leaving that lane in the middle for a simple alley-oop for Jory Napoles.
45 to 25. 20 ang abante ng Mindoro. Comboy. It's it to RJ Ramirez. Ramirez steps back, jumper off the heel. Pangasinan pushing. Pagsanhan will take it to the defense of RJ Ramirez. Basket and one para kay Harvey Pagsanhan.
I like that Harvey went up strong and hard on that drive. I also like that Ian Melencio is right there trying to push the pace.
Melencio here leading this fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme X-Play on-the-go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And that time, clearly a foul on RJ Ramirez. I mean, Harvey hasn't even taken off and he was already on his way down. And just a strong finish by Harvey Pagsanhan. I've always believed that Harvey on the guard spot would be one of the young guns para dito kay Coach Jerson Cabiltes that he definitely would need scoring, especially as they head into the playoffs.
Only averaging under 6 points per game this season, but I expect those numbers to go up
especially as Pangasinan will try to have more of their youth movement come in and contribute.
And so far, this has been 4 successive sets on both ends. That's been pretty good for the Heat Waves.
Melencio goes to Mabulak.
There you go.
Mindoro in that zone. Bautista will not settle for the outside shot. Floater is short para kay Japs.
Boy, I thought Japs already had a shot on that end.
Comboy, no good on the 3. Rare miss galing sa kanya dito sa first half. Melencio will take it by himself and make it.
And Ian Melencio really taking it to the transition defense of the Mindoro Tamaraos right now. I don't think there's a guard right now on the floor that could be able to match up against the speed and the threat of an Ian Melencio down the open floor.
He's a scorer at the point guard spot who has proven himself time and time again with different teams. Most notably with Imus in the past.
Yes.
And now he has had to contend with more talent around him in this Pangasinan roster. But he has had his moments, Coach, especially recently where he has been given more playing time by Coach Gerson. And by the way, if you just tuned in, Coach Gerson Cabildas, he got tossed earlier in the second quarter with 2 technicals already. His team down by 14 here. Inigo could not extend Mindoro's lead.
Well, that was an early seal that Ian didn't see. Now he gets that ball over to Mike.
Mabulak against Bienes. Inigo waiting to double. Mabulak gets away. Tibayan offering token defense. The tap goes to Inigo. They lost it. Bautista gives it up. Napoles drop step. Couple of fakes. Basket no good. Helter Skelter basketball. Both teams telling their squads on the floor to settle down.
The second best perimeter scoring team in this first half alone has missed a total of 17 attempts from the perimeter, while their opponent, the #1 3-point shot making team, has been making threes.
They missed another one though. They missed their last few attempts. Talking about the Tamaraos. 15 seconds left. Pagsanhando will take it anyway. That's a 3 for Pangasinan. This leaves still time left for Mindoro. 5 seconds left. Inigo is found there by Melencio.
Boy, heads up play by Ian Melencio. Got that rebound, pushed that pace, wanted Harvey to go to that spot. Nobody on Harvey. You gotta take that. And that good make from 3.
The biggest lead of the game was at 28 points para sa Mindoro. It's down to just 11 here for the Tamaraos.
This is the biggest scoring run by the Heat Waves right now. At 14.
Comboy, iniwang bukas off the back iron. And that does it for our first 2 quarters. Mindoro with a very impressive start, scoring 26 points in the first quarter. But Pangasinan getting themselves back in this within manageable distance. Bambam Gamalinda was one of the guys who factored in that strong start para sa Mindoro sa laro na to.
Well, he played half, 11 minutes of the first half, and he really just been one of the more efficient guys for the Mindoro Tamaraos.
From a lead as high as 28, the Tamaraos only up by 11 heading into the halftime.
Efficient is that for Diego.
Pero mintis, 2 free throw, ha? Oh, what a pass! Bakes Pascual setting up Kit Jimenez.
This has got to be one of the best games, if not the best game, that we've seen from Mix Pascual. Good decision making right there, but you got to catch up on the other end.
Defense once again. Ugsang at the post. Fading away. Oh my goodness, Reeve Ugsang. How about that?
If your key player is down, it's the role players that take over. Rivugsan this time, after giving that pass earlier to Mark Meneses, decides I'm gonna take on this one, taking on 3 white shirts, fading away, knocking it down to the delight of the Cebu Greats bench.
Sazon. Yambing will slam it down. was actually asking for the lob. This guy could really jump out of a building. So si Rin William Bing.
Nice little pocket pass delivered there by Ives Sazon. It's still a slam for Rin William Bing. One hand flush as he brought back ang kanyang cornrows for this game.
You don't want to see going as well. Tandaan natin. Oh, what a move!
Grabe yun. And Mac Talio able to score.
In and out with the left hand and that right hand finish, leaving the defense on the dust. Mac Talio at his best, breaking down primary defenders.
Napako na sa 64 points. Rodel Gravera will slam it down with two hands.
He pretty much deserves that moment, itong si Rodel Gravera. He's just been a guy that they pull off the bench and always gives positive results. He never runs out of effort. It was a foot race with Migs Pascual, and Migs was not gonna challenge that. And Rodel Gravera, a very quiet, athletic guy.
At nauuna siya dito. Farito will slam it down with his left hand.
He is in a zone. Christian Pajarito has made this Voyagers team and this Cuneta Astrodome as his playground tonight, showing us everything that he can do on the floor. Left hand jam puts in that exclamation on the kind of game that Christian has played.
Missing the second. Davao, chance to win it. Escobino inside the pass. Escocio scores! 0.7 seconds remaining. Val City calls timeout. What a play there by the Davao Occidental Tigers.
Well, they quickly ran the other way and trying to attack, understanding the time that was left, that front end miss.
About a 4-second differential between shot and game clock.
That is enough time.
Roy Sumang attacks, pulling up. Money on a mid-range jumper.
They got time.
But still a two-possession game. Hamon, a second remaining. And that's gonna do it. Zamboanga. How about Roy Sumang? Struggling all game long with his shot. Delivers the dagger for the Zamboanga Sikat.
The dagger against June Manso, no problem. Little step back, and that basket made just in time to give them the lead and eventually the game.
Basilan with 7 steals compared to 8 naman for Ilagan Isabela. Alex Cabagno drives baseline. Oh! Had that tough angle but had the wits in English to will that one through.
Oh boy, what an incredible shot make by the Crunchman. Santos was trying to keep in step with him all the way to the hoop. Took it to the other side with a much more difficult attempt. Was able to use that offhand to keep Santos from getting in front of him. But still, the magnitude of the difficulty of the shot.
He has post start para dito sa Sarangani.
Oh! One-handed throwdown right out of the gates from Simon Sandagon.
Simon Sandagon in his last 2-3 games has really sent out a statement that he is laser focused to try and bring a title for the Quezon Huskers this season.
That came out of nowhere. Simon Sandagon announcing his entry.
Halftime now between the Pangasinan Heatwaves and the Mindoro Tamaraws. The score is 45-34. Mindoro got off to a hot start, especially from the outside, but Pangasinan came roaring back at the end of the second quarter to make this just an 11-point advantage for Mindoro. The lead was as much as 28.
Pretty much. And lalo na yung magandang 14-point run itong Pangasinan to end for the second quarter actually. And you see there's a reason why we picked the 2-point perimeter shooting, the 3-point shooting, because like what we said earlier, itong Pangasinan is the number 2 when it comes to perimeter makes, at number 1 sa 3-point makes naman itong Mindoro. Only just goes to show you when you play to your strengths, things good happen. Pangasinan recovering well on an 11-30 shooting. Samantalang itong Mindoro very steady on an 8 of 16 3-point shooting. And that really has helped out. The key edge so far para dito sa Mindoro is they got 5 more assists over the Heatwaves.
Vic Manuel leading the way for the Pangasinan Heatwaves. He has had to go to work doubly in that first half. Harvey Pagsanhan, all of his 6 points coming in the second quarter for the Pangasinan Heatwaves. While para sa Mindoro, it's been Comboy and Gamalinda leading the way with 11 apiece.
Tsaka huwag natin kalilimutan na may Alain Bolanadi pa yan at may Lawrence Victoria. And sa aking sariling pananaw, napakaganda nung binigay na energy ni Ian Melencio off the bench for them.
Well, this guy has given the energy for Coach Jerson Cabiltes his teams multiple times in the past. I'm talking about Jay Collado. Mintis siya doon pero offensive rebound para dito kay Michael Mabulak ng Pangasinan, and he will go to the line for 2 shots.
And when I say Ian Melencio coming off the bench while he was a starter, really when he came off the bench after Hesed Gabo got into foul trouble, really gave that energy na kinakailangan nitong Heatwaves. And one thing that you notice also is that the Heatwaves are playing a little bit better towards the end of the second quarter.
Boss Danny Espiritu in the building here at the Paco Arena.
There's a lot of players, having given maganda mga opportunities ni Sir Danny.
Panigurado yan.
Oo.
Ang tagal na sa industriya ni Boss Danny.
Sinabi mo pa.
Gamalinda tried to lean in and he draws a foul laban kay Michael Mabulak, who obviously did not agree to the call there. Gamalinda has been looking like he has an added pep to his step in this game.
And you like that he's, playing with a lot of comfort, ika nga, at hindi niya minamadali ang mga bagay-bagay para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws.
Yeah, he's picking up from where he left off against Pasig. He had 19 against that squad, but in a loss. I'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter, the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Now, Hesed Gabo's got to continue to push the pace. Exactly how Ian Melencio started in that second quarter.
They leave Collado wide open. That shot rims out. Another offensive rebound for Mike Mabulak. Mabulak di maurong si Gamalinda. That one's short.
Well, this has been a challenge offensively for Mike Mabulak on the field.
Collado switches out to Comboy. Bolanadi playing the passing lanes. Look out. Alin Bolanadi for 2.
And there's very few that can actually keep up on a finish in open floor with Alain Bolanadi. And he is definitely one guy that they're going to look to.
Bangkale off the glass and in against the fellow Mapuan alumnus in Hesed Gabo. Bolanadi trying to get the moves going against Ethan Galang. Galang forcing the stop. Bangkale sidestep, the beauty and the score there para kay Jeco Bangkale.
A couple of veteran moves from the young man in Jeco Bangkale. And earlier, used a little separation, initiated that bump. Ito naman, nakita niya downhill. May lamang siya pagdating sa speed, inatake niya.
He had 9 points in that first half to backstop Gamalinda and Comboy. But Gamalinda trying to steal away the basketball galing kay Michael Mabulak. That's going to be a personal foul laban sa kanya. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our Gixer great move of the game. Born for greatness. What about Jacob Bangkale in this one, Coach?
he has been playing as a veteran, like you said earlier.
And I like that he picked the side of the floor where he had speed advantage going downhill against Jay Collado. He could have gone to the left and went up against Hesed, but no, not going that way. He definitely can keep pace with me. Let's try the defense of Jay Collado at the other end, and he was very successful in that little in and out before that finish.
Baseline throw in for the Heat Waves. Bulanadi had to adjust double pump, no good. Mabulak again beating Mindoro to the basketball, but that's not without committing a personal foul.
I tell you what, this has been a tough game for Mike Mabula. The guy is working his butt off the boards. He's got 5 offensive rebounds, but he's really not making those shots up close.
And he's missed some free throws as well.
Oh, that's a push. Yeah, that's got to be an offensive foul, without a doubt.
Ethan Galang huling-huli doon. That's a second personal laban sa kanya.
That's a push right there.
The Heat Waves with a chance to trim this deficit. Unfortunately, not even 5 seconds off of their shot clock. They commit a turnover themselves. It's an offensive foul against Pangasinan.
Oh, and the game has, at least early in the third quarter, at least the first 2 minutes, get a little bit slowed down for the Heat Waves. See this moving screen right there by Jake. I thought he didn't have to do that.
Hinuli niya talaga eh. He really went for Jacob Bancale on that one.
He wanted that separation for Hesed Gabo to create.
Gamalinda behind the line. Bancale snatches that rebound, could not finish.
You gotta have that push now.
Collado, siya na rin nagbaba dito. Gets the crossover against Bono, could not finish at the basket as well. Bancale leaves it for Comboy. Feet set, three-pointer down the drain para kay Ino Comboy.
That's the second shovel pass in this game that Ino Comboy received from the 3, takes it and makes it.
Boy, what a combination this backcourt has been para kay Coach Benji Todoro, Jacob Bancale, and Ino Comboy. Both of them unleashing such impressive performances in this game. And we are not yet done. Still a lot of game to be played in this one. 7 minutes pang natitira dito sa ating third quarter. Look at this setup. Bancale to Comboy.
Oh, that good setup though, and really just trusting everything that you've done from that spot. Ito si Ino Comboy.
Bono. Backs down JP Maguliano. He gets doubled. Passes it off. Gamalinda misses on the finger roll. 3-on-2 break. Some guys down 2 on the other side. Bulanadi misses from the outside. And it's Pagsanhan getting the 2 points underneath.
And again, when the Heat Waves play a lot of plays, it puts a lot of strain on the transition defense of the Mindoro Tamaraws. You gotta keep on attacking that way if you're the Heat Waves.
They go to Ken Bono. The quick spin off the glass and in. Ken Bono taking JP Maguliano to school.
Tell me that's not experience, Javi. I mean, that door in the middle was completely shut. And Ken Bono really just going to that drop step off that spin, a beautiful finish, going glass. And if he's that close on the low block, there's actually very little you can do. See this right here, one-on-one situation. Felt that space on that baseline side, just left that ball on that spin. And RJ and Sean Andrews really celebrating that beautiful post-up move by Ken Bono. Why not? Why not?
I will not fight them on it. Definitely not. At nakita mo, Coach, may konting hang time pa na pinakita.
Oo nga.
Yung ating former UAAP MVP na si Ken Bono.
Bumibitin pa eh, no?
5 points so far in the game. This time it's Napoles defending him. The double comes from Victoria. He completes the steal. Victoria, sidestep to the left. Maguliano gets the 2 points.
I love that dig on that post-up by Lawrence Victoria. And I love that decision to leave it to the least guy that's guarded in JP Maguliano.
Tail job completed by JP. Comboy to the middle. He gets it back. Napoles on him. That's by Kong. Goes inside, blocked there by JP Maguliano. Tumatakbo ulit ang Pangasinan. Melencio shovels a pass. Napoles for 2.
And this is where really the heat waves have come back. And a lot of that because of that man right there, Ian Melencio, has pushed the pace once again for the heat waves coming off the bench in the third quarter.
Access denied by Maguliano, and then Napoles pushing it, giving it to Ian Melencio and getting it back. That's our fast break of the game. Brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners and Extreme Magpalamig free installation for split type air conditioners. This was the pass from Lawrence Victoria to JP Maguliano. Those two fast breaks helping Pangasinan get to within 12 here against Mindoro. Pangasinan dominated the Manila Batang Quiapo dun sa kanilang huling laro. That was last September 11 last week. And what more can I say, Coach? The numbers speak for itself.
Oh yeah, 5 players in double digits. Everything really just going the side of the Pangasinan Heat Waves. They were, unforgiving, so to speak, against Manila Batang Quiapo, understanding that Manila's pretty much out of that playoff run, and you gotta keep getting at it against Manila.
And nakita naman natin kung sino yung mga matitirang mga kalaban pa nitong Pangasinan. They want as much as possible to be able to build up those good habits heading into the playoffs. I know we may sound like broken records saying it, but that's just the reality of the situation right now for the teams heading into the postseason. As we see Comboy get a high looper of a finger roll to drop.
Yeah, pretty much. And napakahalaga niyan because at this point, as you see, another good drive right there by Joray Napoles. And man, I like that Joray is actually proving me right. That he is a vital piece in the rotation of Coach Gerson Cabeltes. He plays good. The team actually, for the most part, plays well.
8 points in the game para kay Joray Napoles. Inigo gets it across. Marian Magat, that's a walk.
And I love how Coach Noy Catalan has actually put this 5 on the floor for the Heat Waves. Ian Melencio pushing the pace, Bong Galanza with a threat for 3, Lawrence Victoria, pretty much a triple threat guy, and a very mobile big in JP Maguliano and Joray Napoles.
If you just tuned in, Coach Gerson Cabeltes is no longer in this game. He was tossed early in the second quarter. Napoles pull-up jumper is good.
It may sound a broken record, but we've seen Joray Napoles perform really well last season alongside Greg Slaughter in Manila. But this is the kind of Joray Napoles that I'm sure the Heat Waves would love to see.
Couple of dribbles, the pull-up, nothing but bottom there para kay Joray Napoles. 56-46, 10 ang abante ng Mindoro.
Well, this game really matters for both these teams.
Exactly. Pangasinan trying to hold on to the 4th seed in the north while Mindoro trying to climb the ladder in the south. Comboy, top of the circle. That's no good. Napoles pushing. Nobody stopping the basketball. Joray Napoles going all the way to the cup.
And Joray feeling that confidence right now. You could tell it by his body language, the way he closes out, the way he goes for those rebounds, the way he pushes that pace, the way he attacks the lane. He knows it. He's one of the hottest hands right now for Pangasinan.
Ang haba rin talaga, Coach, no? And he's showing us that tight handle na kaya niya talaga magbaba ng bola. Hindi siya naaagawan.
I feel he's playing with a lot of efficiencies right now. Ito si Joray Napoles. Making shots from the outside, seeing the reads, making the right decisions. And he's just being the best version of himself right now, speaking of Joray.
2 for 2 para kay Joray Napoles. This lead is down to single digits. 56-48. Past the halfway point of the third quarter. Bangkale, crossover, floater off the glass and in. Another spectacular shot by Checo Bangkale.
If there is going to be an award for the youngest best performer so far in this game, that award's got to go to Jacob Bangkale. He went up against Vic Manuel that last instance, but Vic says, no, I'm going to take that back.
The veteran answering 2 points para sa Pangasinan. Magat fumbles the reverse. Lucky break for the Heat Waves.
Yeah, that was a good pass though by Jacob Bangkale.
Drag screen set by Napoles. Jore from the elbow. This time from the right side. It makes no difference.
Tell me I'm wrong, Javi, about Jory Napoles.
You are definitely not wrong, Coach. You are so much in the right now. This lead is down to 6. Comboy to bring it back to 9. Wala. Vic Manuel with another rebound. That's 5 in the game for the muscle man. Melencio spots for 3.
That shot I felt was a little bit hurry. He had a lane that was open the right side of the floor. He could have compacted that defense and allowed other guys like Lawrence to score.
3 minuto ang nalalabi dito sa ating third quarter. Axel Inigo galing sa labas.
Finally, the arrows are out for Axel. And the dad's been waiting and the mom's been waiting too.
Late na pumasok sa laro na to si Axel Inigo. He usually starts games for Coach Benji Teodoro but came in at the start of the second quarter. He was the third point guard in the rotation sa laro na to for Mindoro. Napoles gathers, it scores.
Oh man, Jory Napoles is on a tear right now. And his team's down just by 7.
Yeah, his third quarter has belonged to him. And Jory Napoles only scored 4 points in the first 2 quarters. He has 16 in this game. Inigo to Comboy. He will not be shy, and that is for good reason.
Missed his last 2-3 attempts, but he definitely is not going to stop shooting those threes. And the best threes that he's taken, it's been on the catch.
A swipe there by Bienes merits him a personal foul. He will send Bongalanza to the free throw line.
And boy, how big was that 3-point make by Ino Comboy? It was a good run by Pangasinan. Jory Napoles kept going at it, but to try a little bit silence that run by Pangasinan is really just what Mindoro needed from that 3 by Ino Comboy.
Galanza missing on the first free throw. Yep, you're right. That 3-point shot definitely restored order back to the side of the Tamaraws. Pangasinan has been making a furious run at it here in the third quarter, led by Jory Napoles.
And they're shooting so much better from the perimeter. They're at 45%. A lot of that has to do with the shot selection of Jory Napoles.
Well, the shot selection of that guy has been spot on in this game. Talking about Jacob Bangkale, but he misses on the 3. Galanza gets a smaller Axel Inigo. Melencio picks it up and makes it into gold.
It's the other guys for the Heat Waves that's bringing this fight to Mindoro. Ian Melencio recovering that 50-50 ball and turning it into 2 points.
Tibayan, a little grenade action on the right side with Ray Bienes, but he steps on the sideline. Turnover Mindoro.
And you got to give props to Coach Noy Catalan right now. He is really on the floor, giving instructions, motivating his guys, directing them.
Taking the mantle from Coach Jerson Cabiltes, who has been ejected from this game with 2 technical fouls. Meanwhile, Jory Napoles has been unstoppable inside, outside, from the perimeter. It doesn't matter. This third quarter has belonged to him.
And if Jory Napoles keeps hitting those shots from the nail as Mindoro goes on their zone, it's going to be really good for the Heat Waves, because you have to understand, if he's on the nail, who's on the low block? It's Vic Manuel. So you close out on that shooter on the nail, it's easy to dump it in over to Vic.
Comboy back in the game. Trying to post up Lawrence Victoria. Gamalinda from the outside. Looked good but rimmed out.
3-point shooting has gone down here for Mindoro.
Lawrence Victoria all the way to the cup. Nobody stopping the basketball for Mindoro.
Well, everybody at that point thought that the zone was going to slow down that ball movement, pero Lawrence Victoria had other things to say about that.
Inigo, pinapahirapan ang depensa ni Ian Melencio. Rebound by Vic Manuel. Forward to Lawrence Victoria na agaw ni Jeco Bangkale. 61-64. Bangkale extends that to 5. 66-61.
Oh my goodness, Jeco Bangkale, Javi. He is impressive.
Well, playing perhaps the best game of the season for Mindoro. We still have 8 seconds to go here in the third. Melencio against Tibayan. Crossover into the middle, just below the free throw line. Wala. Gamalinda with her board. And that does it for the first 3 quarters of this game. What a furious rally unleashed by Pangasinan in that third quarter.
Well, one might think that Mindoro slowed down a little bit, but boy, they came back strong to start the quarter. Ken Bono was in it, and might I say, this is really just welcoming everyone to the Jeco Bangkale and Jory Napoles show in the third quarter.
Oh yeah, those two guys practically took over for their respective teams. Those are our highlights of the game, brought to you by SIP Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. Napoles and Bangkale taking charge for both Pangasinan and Mindoro respectively. What will the fourth quarter bring us? That and so much more sa pagbabalik ng MPBL. Check out our LGR fan of the game, brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Some fans of Pangasinan here at the Paco Arena in Manila City, our venue for our Tuesday triple header. This is Javi Palanya alongside Coach Mike Perez and Ms. Mika Abesames. Johnny Napoles, 15 points total in this game. He only had 4 in the first 2 quarters. 18 points na pala total para kay Jory Napoles, and he absolutely tore out in that third period.
Oh, and he was doing it with a lot of efficiencies. I mean, one dribble pull-ups, attack down the lane on open floor transition, getting deflections, helping out on the defensive end. It's not just scoring, it's the energy that he's brought to the Heat Waves in the third quarter that mattered most in that round. Another steal.
Melencio picks the pocket of Bangkale. Remember, this lead was as high as 28 points in this game. Look at the quarter scoring. Pangasinan gradually getting better in this game. 12 in the first, 22 in the second, and 27 in that huge third quarter. They get a foul here against Bam Gamalinda. That's going to be another person in laban sa kanya. Vic Manuel able to draw that contact. He will go to the line for 2 shots.
That's a second personal on Bam Gamalinda. And that time, you know, really just proves to you that the baseline out of bounds is one of the toughest to defend.
Let's go courtside to Ms. Mika Abesames.
2 of the guys making it work for the respective teams are Cap Inocomboy and the muscleman Vic Manuel. Former teammates in San Miguel but really good friends off the court. Kwento ni Vic, batang kapatid na daw niya talaga itong si Ino. In fact, nung umalis nga daw siya sa team, totoong nalungkot daw talaga si muscleman. Sabi niya talagang halos hindi ako makakain nun sa lungkot. Palagi daw silang magkasama, and he likes how Ino has really evolved into a great player here in the MPBL where everybody develops their game. Sabi naman ni Ino, nako, etong si Vic Manuel, todo close daw talaga nila, sinusuportahan daw talaga siya sa lahat. Kaya lang sayang daw dahil hindi kasya sa kanya ang napakaraming sapatos ng muscleman. Javi and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Well, great history between both Inocomboy and Vic Manuel. I actually forgot na mag-teammates nga pala sila sa San Miguel, no?
Oh.
But despite the age difference, they're so close pala. And thank you, Mika, for getting that bit of information. Ano kaya size na pa ni Vic Manuel? No?
Yun nga sasabihin ko feeling ko pareho kayo
Kaso feeling ko hindi yan size 11, coach
Alam mo yung size 11 na parang size mas malaki pa.
Tansya ko mga at least size 12 yan.
Oo, laki.
Baka nga 13.
13 pa, correct.
Galanza, pinapahirapan ng depensa ni Hans Maikong.
Ngayon, medyo nakatiin na rin yung depensa nitong Mindoro. Even the perimeter guys You know, they're not sagging off of them. They're really up close defending against them.
Mindoro's currently at number 8 in the Southern Division. Pangasinan number 4 in the North. Manuel misses. Comboy has Melencio to beat off the glass and in para kay Ino Comboy.
I like that Ian did not challenge that anymore. He really just had to give it up. Babalikan na lang namin kayo. Pupunta sa namin kayo sa kabila.
Melencio spins. Bangkale with a tap. Melencio recovers. Manuel steps behind the line. That one's long. The rebound tracked down by Ino Comboy. Leaves it for Mike Kong. He was blocked there by Galanza.
Good block by Bong.
Comboy
Oh,
relocates. Nothing but bottom para kay Ino Comboy. That's another three-pointer to his name.
The relocate 3 has been a pure threat when you talk about Ino Comboy. They miss a shot. They try to make a run. This time, Ino goes for that easy 2-point basket. Ian Melencio not challenging that. But again, you got to relocate if you're a 3-point shooter. And Bam Gamalinda understood. I've got my shooter right there in the corner. You got to give it up, and Ino knocks it down.
He is exuding so much confidence right now. Talking about Ino Comboy, his team up 73-62. Jeco Bangkale, also one of the guys who have been contributing so well in this game. He has formed half of that backcourt duo with Ino Comboy as the most potent in this game for the Tamaraw. 17 points para sa kanya. The young guy playing like he's a veteran here in this game.
And never afraid of the moment. How many times did we see him going up against Vic Manuel, Mike Mabulak? And then those guys are veteran in relation to, you know, he's playing experience. And you're really not just being afraid of that situation.
Jory Napoles was hot in the third for Pangasinan. He misses on that three. That one was short. Bangkale pushing. He gets by multiple white shirts behind the back to Bam Gamalinda. What a play by Jeco Bangkale.
Oh my God, that Jeco Bangkale show continues in the fourth quarter. Oh wow.
Ilang nakaputi ang nadaanan niya doon, Coach. He practically blew by every heat wave that was in his tracks. And then that spectacular pass, my goodness, here he is again, the outlet to Maikong. That Hans decides to pull back. That's an offensive foul against the former Olivares College standout. Bam Gamalinda telling his teammates, let's go back, bawi na lang tayo sa depensa. But look at this, he fools everybody with that pass.
Well, the moment that Lawrence Victoria actually tried to dig in on that move by Jeco Bangkale, started that rotate. And Bam Gamalinda pretty much was free on that side of the floor.
Bangkale with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 spectacular dimes in this game for the former Mapua Cardinal. Fresh off a championship last year in the NCAA. Bulanadi, I think he has to come alive here for the Heat Waves. Steps through, passes it out. Victoria from downtown, malakas. Ay tulak galing sa likod, laban sa Mindoro. That's going to go against Jonas Tibayan. Coach Benji Tidoro still a little bit chill on the Mindoro sideline. He has not stood up a lot in this game. He has let first assistant Kim Siko do a lot of the directing as Bulanadi gets a basket and one there for Pangasinan.
Napakahalagang maging forceful rin ang simula dito ng fourth quarter para dito sa Pangasinan Heat Waves because they've never tasted the lead. They've been giving a good push. You know, they've been on big runs, but they've never gotten the lead. And so at this point, you really got to put a little bit more extra effort here in regulation.
Bulanadi only with 6 points in this game, Coach.
Yeah, pretty much because of the good play of Jory Napoles.
Under 7 minutes to play sa laro na to. Galang sees some space from the outside. Bangkale gets to the loose ball. Natamaan siya dun sa mukha ni Lawrence Victoria. That was quite the hit on the face.
Well, he got hit on the face, but sure didn't look like it was intentional for Lawrence. Lawrence was really trying to tap the ball upstairs in the hope that it ends on the other end, and so he gets advantage of a run the other way.
These are two former Mapua Cardinals. Ayun sa pool sa mukha eh.
Yeah, that's the best that Lawrence could really do, to chase that ball, to try to tip him upstairs, allow Diego Bancali to really just fly by. Kailangan nangyari, tinamaan nga si Diego.
Just a regular foul against Lawrence Victoria.
Agree. I would have been surprised if that happened to be an unsportsmanlike.
O dahil going for the ball naman siya doon. Bancali was just not in the best position to protect himself from something like that.
I mean, if you're going to get Diego Bancali perform this way heading into the playoffs, that just all the more provides that depth from the guard position. Imagine, you can actually move, as Axel now comes in for Diego, you can actually move Axel over to the wing and be a shooter like Ino Comboy.
For now, he will man the point guard spot. Inigo, quick trigger. Oh, that was halfway down. Andrews trying to battle with Bulanadi for that basketball, but it ends up being Pangasinan rock.
That was a good shot. That ball was halfway in. Defense was drop coveraging. Your Axel, you got to take that.
75 to 64. Napoles. Perimeter jumper. He's got that on automatic. 20 points in the game for the former Manila player.
At a certain point, I'm sure Coach Noy Catalan is going to bring back in Ian Melencio.
Bienes to Tibayan. Reverse is no good. Victoria saves it to Maguliano, who gets it to Bulanadi. Right-hand finish is good for Alin.
22 fast break points for Pangasinan versus just 16 for Mindoro. That's where they made their run. Speaking of the heat waves.
Inigo is doubled in a very precarious spot. He gets free. Tibayan manages to get it. Left it short.
Oh, wow.
What a huge miss coming from Jonas Tibayan.
Indeed, that was a huge miss. And at that time, if that mask wasn't on there, I'd like to think he would have made that shot.
But look at the heavy pressure play there by Pangasinan. Tibayan.
Madulas din no?
Siguro nga, coach.
Bitawan yung bola eh. Pero iba rin kasi talaga pagka bagong gadget yung suot mo, equipment yung suot mo, lalo na it's on the head.
Napoles continuing his scoring barrage here in the fourth quarter. This free throw of the game brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Pangasinan fans cheering them on here. They're down by 5 points. Andrews almost turns it over. The Tamaraos managed to get it across the timeline.
Barely getting in there.
Inigo nagtitimon dito para sa Mindoro. They're up by 5. Shot clock at 6. Axel against Maguliano. Fall away jumper is short. Magat keeps it alive. Inigo thought of the 3. Maguliano is still on him. Bienes has a slight height advantage against Victoria. Gets both him and Napoles in the air. Bienes for 2.
Mismatch on that side. You draw a secondary defender. You gotta attack that.
77 to 70. Past the 5-minute mark of quarter number 4, Napoles is practically unstoppable in this game.
He is unstoppable. There's no other way to put it. Anywhere he goes, he just keeps puncturing the hoop.
24 big points in the game for Jory Napoles. Floater no good galing kay Axel Inigo. Napoles secures possession for Pangasinan. Gurtiza a little bit wild there. Maguliano out to Bulanadi for 3. No good. That rims out.
Oh, that was huge. He was wide open.
Oh, Bulanadi only with 8 points to show for. His team down by 5. A foul against Mindoro. Gurtiza is down.
Is that a Marion Magat? Let's see that.
Looks like it, coach. He tried to set a screen here. Oh no, it
it's
was on
Ino.
Gomboy.
Yeah, it's on Ino. Well, he tried to create that separation with a little shoulder bump. I thought he did a good job of selling it too.
For sure. Gomboy's been the top scorer for the Tamaraws in this game. He's got 24. Bulanadi handling the basketball against Ashawn Andrews. Goes to his strong side. Bulanadi picks up the dribble. Dumps it to Magoliano. Could not handle the pass. Turnover for Pangasinan.
That's a good pass though by Alain Bulanadi. Really, hindi lang na-control ni JP doon.
Pagsanhan is on Ino Comboy. Gives it up to Gamalinda. Bangkali and they switch positions. Jeco now calling the play. Melenso on him. Bienes. Quick move to the right. Magoliano is right there with him. Andrews has to take it. Pagsanhan secures possession for Pangasinan. Harvey charging into the basket. Draws the foul against Ino Comboy.
Boy, Harvey was going that side of the floor, but I thought on the right side, you had Alain Bulanadi running wide, holding that three. That would have been the least guarded guy in that situation.
Oh, but this is huge, coach. That is now number 5 laban kay Ino Comboy. And we still have 3 and 33 left in this one.
At the very least, that's the consolation you get out of it. It might be really just Harvey Pagsanhan understanding foul situations. So with Ino Comboy, he might be thinking, Ino's got 4 personal fouls already. He's not going to defend me on this lane drive. And so I take that back. That was a good decision by Harvey.
And not a good decision at all coming from Ino Comboy, who fouls out with 24 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists. However, you talk about consolation prizes. That's the consolation that Mindoro gets from that particular sequence. 0 out of 2 si Harvey Pagsanhan dun.
Yeah, you might have taken out a really good 3-point shooter. Pero ang dami pa ring scorers sa 3 nitong Mindoro. You still have Gamalinda and Bangkali who are about 50% from there.
Bulanari saves it to Magoliano. 3 minutes and change remaining in this game. Melenso susubok galing sa labas. Wala yan. Ball is loose. It ends up with Bangkali. Ball is poked. Gamalinda has it. Magoliano trying to foul. Bienes trying to wait for teammates here. 5 ang abante nila dito. Ball handling duties falling on the shoulders of Jeco Bangkali. They go backdoor. Andrews hammered from behind by Harvey Pagsanhan.
They're going to review this. A couple of players down on the floor. Jory Napoles got hit as Ashen Andrews on the other end was elevating for that attempt. See this right here.
He almost traveled. And there you see Napoles getting hit first, and then the foul by Pagsanhan on Andrews. Pareho sa likod ng ulo. Our referees will be reviewing that last sequence. 2 minutes and 38 remaining in this game. Pangasinan has never led in this matchup. Mindoro has led by as much as 28 points sa laro na to.
And I feel that hit by Harvey Pagsanhan really was a peel-off defense because he understood that Ian Melencio got beat on the sideline and saw that it was an athletic Ashen Andrews going that close. Possibly a dunk kung sakaling hindi niya na inabot yun.
Coach Noy Catalan, the one calling the shots right now for Pangasinan, with Coach Jerson out of this game early in the second quarter due to ejection. He had 2 technical fouls. He was fuming mad over a few calls in that second quarter particularly. Andrews is at the line for 2 shots. No unsportsmanlike fouls or anything of that nature called after the review. Just a regular foul against Harvey Pagsanhan. Andrews could not take care of business on the second.
Still got a shot here. This is still a lot of time.
No doubt about it. 78 to 72. Melencio to Mount Napoles. Trying to lose Gamalinda. Takes the shot anyway. That one's short. Andrews, crucial rebound para sa kanya.
You got to get a stop if you're the heat waves right now.
Bangkale is down. So is Ramirez and Victoria.
And you love the effort.
Against Pangasinan.
Yeah, you love the effort of Lawrence Victoria. Going for those 50-50 ball.
Well, he is constantly tried in this game, coach, but a lot of his offense not really arriving, as well as Alin Bulanadi, those two vital cogs on the offensive end for Pangasinan. Hindi talaga nakagana dito sa laro na to. They have 2 minutes to try and still do so. Mindoro will try to hold on to the 6-point lead in the final 2 minutes.
This is just a 2-possession game.
Bangkale draws contact
my goodness.
plus the foul. Basket and one para kay Jeco Bangkale. He's playing the game of his life in this one.
And if there are any doubters to what Diego Bangkale can actually provide the Mindoro Tamaraws, may those guys put that doubt into rest, as Diego Bangkale has really elevated his game here in the second half.
Only averaging 6 points per game this season. Came on over during the trade and free agency window. Was traded for June Manzo. After that, Bangkale able to get more minutes with his Mindoro team. Tonight, he has been one of the top scorers for the Tamaraws. 19 points, could not complete the 3-point play, but Pangasinan could also not score on their side of the floor.
Importante dito, makakuha sila ng depensa dito.
80-72. They get it back to Jeco Bangkale, and why not? Melencio defending him. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bangkale loses it. Galanza picks it up. That's a push from behind against Jeco Bangkale.
And it's gonna send Bong Galanza to the free throw, as Mindoro already in penalty. Dami pa nito, ang haba pang oras na to. But important is for Pangasinan to make their free throws, while the Tamaraws, you gotta keep your poise. You gotta go back to that game against Pasig, and it was another close game.
Galanza able to take care of the first. Look at the free throw shooting for Pangasinan in this one. 13 out of 24. Galanza goes 1 out of 2.
Oh, wow.
Both teams actually not doing well from the charity stripe in this game.
And they're gonna use a lot of clock here.
Ramirez, Gamalinda, Bangkale, Tibayan, and Sean Andrews on the floor for Coach Benji Teodoro. Gamalinda wants it against Jory Napoles. Veteran to veteran, mano a mano. Gamalinda to beat the shot clock.
In moments of the game, when you try to look for someone to take over, you always got to go to your veterans. Bam Gamalinda going up against another veteran in Jory Napoles. Just a little jab step going right enough to create that separation, get him lifted up in the air, and then really just going to his jump shot.
58.9 seconds remaining. 82-73 is the score. We'll be right back. Mindoro's trying to set themselves up well for their next 2 games, Coach. Mabibigat ang magiging kalaban nila for their last 2 games of the season. On September 25, they will be facing Batangas. And 5 days after that, they go up against the league-leading Abra Weavers.
This is a good wake-up game after the close loss against Pasig. You never underestimate your opponents. And so right now, the Tamaraws are doing just that.
17 points in the game for Bam Gamalinda after that clutch shot. Melencio decides to take the 3. That rims out. Ball is loose. Picked up by Napoles. Wala pa rin para sa Pangasinan. Gamalinda ahead to Bangkale. who only has one man to beat. Magoliano could not offer enough resistance. Bangkale putting on the finishing touches here for Mindoro.
3 of the last 4 to 5 attempts of the Heat Waves have actually been taken by Ian Melencio. All those shots look good but did not fall. And so you miss a shot, Matic, Mindoro's gonna run in the other way, and Diego Bangkale really just finishing it off.
Oh boy, this guy playing like he is a man on fire. 84 to 73. The clock is ticking right now for Pangasinan. Diego Bangkale, former Mapua Cardinal, played a vital role in the NCAA Championship of Mapua last season. Taking his act to the MPBL this year, started with the Cebu franchise midway through the season, transferred here to Mindoro, and he has played a spectacular performance in this one. They get the steal here. Ramirez, this is going to be the cherry on top of the ice cream. Gortiza from the outside, wala pa rin. Magoliano recycles for Pangasinan. That's a 3 for Bolanadi, but that just might be a case of too little, too late for the Heat Waves.
I mean, I'm really just wanting to make sure here. I'd like to think of this timeout by Mindoro. This was the shot earlier that I was mentioning of that drive by Harvey Pagsanhan. He did get that fifth foul of Ino Comboy, but that would have been a good look also on the other end for Alain Bolanadi.
21.7 seconds ang nalalabi sa ating laro. Magbabalik ang MPBL. Pangasinan, on the other hand, will have to go through Rizal, Imus, and the Caloocan Batang Kankalu for their last 3 games of the season.
And yan, ang ma-challenge na mga games yan, definitely yung Rizal and Caloocan. Well, the reason that we say that is that Imus has a lower record compared to them. And so, but it's also not a guarantee that they're going to win it. And so it's very important they win those remaining games. And it becomes very tricky for Pangasinan because guys are also wanting to avoid the Abra Weavers. I mean, who wouldn't? Who would not avoid them? And they're one of the toughest, I'd say the toughest team this season. Especially coming off that after nung matalo sila sa Pasay. That really just woke up the Weavers team. And this is so much different Abra Weavers right now. Lalo na, you're heading into the playoffs.
I don't think anybody would want to face Abra in the first round. That's really going to be a tall order, both literally and figuratively.
Yes.
We'd want as much as possible to delay facing the league leaders in the postseason. Melencio for 3. That's good.
That's exactly how his previous shots look. It looked good, but, you know, either it's halfway in, it goes out. And Ian Melencio, you got to feel for the guy. He kept pushing the pace for the Heat Waves, initiating that 16-point run in the second quarter.
One of the guys primarily responsible for Pangasinan's comeback from 28 points down. 11 seconds na lang ang natitira sa laro na to. The Viñeta Takjel will be going up against the Zamboanga Sikat
right after this one in a very important South Division matchup in what will have heavy implications on the team standings in that division.
Well, actually, Binyan trying to get at the very least to number 6. Matalang itong Zamboanga. You know, they still got a good chance. They're still at number 4 right now, but the games are tougher.
It's going to get even tougher as we head down into first the play-in, and then, of course, our playoff season. It's the first time that the MPBL will be having a play-in tournament right before the playoff starts. So it's only the top 6 who are guaranteed the playoff spots at this point.
I just also want to say, from a coaching standpoint, that you also got to give the props to Coach Noy Catalan. And you know, after that ejection by Coach Jerson Cabiltes, even the players for having responded to the ejection of Coach Jerson. You'd like to think the head coach is no longer there in a game that's very important for them to win. But Coach Noy really led this team along with the help of Joray Napoles and Ian Melencio.
Big win here for the Mindoro Tamaraos as they make another push for a better seeding in the Southern Division. This could be their first playoff appearance in franchise history, and they would want to be in the best shape possible heading into that stint. Ino Comboy top scored para sa Mindoro sa laro na to. He had 24 in the game, but he found out Bamga Malinda had an impressive showing, but this kid, Coach Jeco Bangkale, played out of his mind in this game. I'm running out of things to say about him. It was such an impressive performance. Did it all from scoring, assisting, to pushing the pace and controlling the tempo for this team.
9 points in the first half, 12 of them coming in the second. But that second half performance, really, he was a man among all the other men in that game. But he responded well and he rose to the occasion.
Mindoro wins 89-79 against Pangasinan. At courtside, we have Esmica Besames with Jeco Bangkal.
Maraming salamat. Congratulations, Diego. Grabe ang suporta sa'yo ng teammates mo. Hanggang naglalakad ka papunta dito. Nag-average ka lang ng 6 points per game. Pero itong larong ito, nag-elevate ka lalo nung second half. Nahulog ka pa, no? Sa lagay na yon. Pero credit din syempre kay Cap Ino sa larong ito, no? Kumusta ka pagkatapos ng larong ito?
Maganda naman po kasi sobrang sarap sa pakiramdam kasi natalo kami sa last game eh. Talagang nag-bounce back talaga kami. Tapos winwork on lang namin yung mga weaknesses namin. Tapos ganun. Stick to the team lang.
Napag-usapan mo yung disappointing loss nga sa Pasig, ano? Siguro yun talaga yung nag-ignite ng fire sa inyo. Ano ba yung tumatak sa isip mo pagkatapos ng larong iyon, lalo na ang susunod nyo pang kalaban, Batangas at Abra?
Yun po, parang naganahan talaga akong mag-all out talaga sa training. Talagang prepare namin yung game na to kasi nga po yung Pangasinan parang malakas po talaga. Tsaka sa playoffs po, parang may chance pa po kaming pasok kaya all out lang talaga kami sa training.
At kitang-kita namin ngayong araw ang lahat ng preparation nyo. Meron ba kayong mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Binabati po namin si Mayor Aina. Maraming salamat po sa suporta. Sa coach namin na si Coach Edsel Bellena. Maraming salamat po, Coach. Sa mama at papa ko na nasa Cebu. Tsaka mga kaibigan ko na nasa Cebu. Yung ate ko nasa Japan, Ate Gigin. At saka sa mga families ko po na nasa Cebu. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat. What a great performance from Diego Bangkale and of course the rest of the Mindoro Tamaraos. Balik sa inyo, Javi, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat. Up next, we have Binyan going up against Zamboanga in what is going to be a very important matchup in the Southern Division. For my partner, Coach Mike Perez, our courtside reporter, Ms. Mika Apesames, this is Javi Palanya. Keep it locked in here on the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.